start in 5
minutes,
seconds.
I'll just update. So what we'll, since all of you are in some way either associated with ADHM, or I think in Roshni's particular case with Procam, in the way they have supported running or your experience with running, we'd like to talk about those particular experiences. We'll also want to bring about some sort of message from you as to how people want to run this. I'm sure people are running virtual runs, which have come up until now. Thousands of them have come up. But of course, not everything is ADHM, right? So we want to give your specific information about how you've experienced ADHM before and how you want to start experiencing it this year. Because you're doing ADHM, in your case, mine probably Bangalore now. Most others are in Delhi and they're probably going to run ADHM in Delhi. But it's not the same. But it's also, we'll also have an opportunity to experience it in a different way. You're running alone, probably with a friend. So your messages to each one of those runners to how they should go about doing it this year, right? Coming out of a really bad lockdown, and we have Roshni. So let her join in. Roshni, if you don't have your video on, you want to let it on now. Yeah, hi. So welcome on. So I was just explaining what we are. Okay, let her audio connect. Yeah, so I was just saying we want to get the message of your experience with ADHM for these so many years, and how you would like everyone to, I don't know what to say, experience ADHM the way it is this year, right? It's a new way to do it. It's what the year has brought for us, but this is what we have, and we just want to get the best out of it, right? And also how you have experienced over the years. So let's start off. I think from this onwards is the recording, so we'll just continue with it. So I'll start again, we're very cliched. I'll start with the women. So there's nothing about women first or anything. I just want to start with the women. Okay, so let's start with Nirupama, right? So you have had a very, very long number of years in the fitness ecosystem and ADHM itself. You run like 8 times now. This would be your 9th, and you have done really well, about 5 podiums. So how was your experience all these years, and what are you missing this year? What do you think you are missing this year?
Yeah, so ADHM was my first, it was my debut into long distance running. That was half marathon ADHM in 2009. And that made me a runner. And I was a recreational runner then. For first 3 years, I was into recreational runner. I used to just go there, run and enjoy and come back. And then decided to train. And then the 4th time I trained. And of course, I stood podium. And since then, I have been getting podium year after year. And it is very special because that's my debut. Everything about ADHM is very, very close to my heart. It's almost like pilgrimage. And every year when I go with the confidence that I'm going to conquer it. Somehow, it was always there in my heart and mind because ADHM belongs to me. I think I've run with that spirit that when I stand on the start line, I'm there to conquer. I'm not a person who does a lot of events, but when I choose an event, I'm loyal and I'm consistent, and ADHM being very special to my heart. All these years, it's been celebration going there, meeting different runners from all across country. And for that matter, Tarun and I know each other through ADHM. And though we always met once a year, it just feels like, old friends meeting, right, Tarun?
It's been a special meeting every time. And I think we've always looked forward to it. Every time we've
And
Yeah,
I don't think we've missed even once that we
not
haven't
even
met and
once.
taken a picture. I should make a collage of that and share actually.
Yes. So that's how special ADHM is from running point of view, from the point of view of connecting with runners across India. And this year is different. Courtesy goes to COVID. Uh, yes, we'll not be there, but still we have an opportunity to run in the name of ADHM wherever that we are, and it will be a novel experience because this time when we stand on the start line, there is no need to conquer in terms of time, so we can run at our own pace, and we can run while having conversation, that is conversation with our running buddies around us. So that's going to be, and still our run and the data will be logged in, so good enough. So we'll run tension free this time.
For the hydration का तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते, but for the nutrition part, you can ask some of the good food to be sent over to Bangalore by Tarun.
I'll definitely do that. Yes.
Okay, so Roshni, could you get into a better lighting? It's a little dark for you. So I'll just, until you're setting it up, let's go off to Tarun since we already have started on the discussion. So Tarun, you've been into running now 10 years, right? And you've had a group you created, which has now grown into a really big one and all that. You know, a lot of these people over years have aspired to run in ADHM. They're probably going to run ADHM this year, but for the first timers, that experience is not the same as what you experienced when you did it. But it's still, it is going to be their debut. What are you telling them, right? How are you telling them, or how are you keeping them inspired?
It's definitely tricky because when you have an event like most of us in Delhi, I'm sure though we have like huge number of events happening, but most of us in Delhi must have started their running with ADHM, just as I did 10 years back. That time nobody knew of anything about events, and I had not even heard of something like a half marathon. I was not into running at all, and it was just like we knew that okay, there is something that happens. There is ADHM. That we used to like we had the full name, Airtel Delhi Half Marathon. All these abbreviations became famous later. So there was a self motivation, to see the thing happening, and it would just happen by itself, and you would have something to look forward to. Like for me, first 3 years I only ran one half marathon in a year. That was ADHM. But considering the situation now, there are no events happening, and for people who had been looking forward to this time and they wanted to run their first event, we've been kind of keeping them motivated by having to train regularly and having to look forward to, even if it's not something like a PB run, but at least kind of stay focused on what they can achieve. Because what we also kind of realize that running is not just about your PB. It brings in so much more to life. It brings in friends like, seriously about Nirpa and me, of whatever little interaction we had on social media, that one meeting, maybe it just lasts about few minutes because she's flanked with her fan club and everybody wants to get a picture with her and go with her. Even that has been such a warm connect. Now that is what running does to you. So for everybody to know that that's not going to happen is quite a bummer. But we've kept them motivated. We are doing group runs together. We are trying to, even for ADHM, what we've done, we've kept this for a group to run together. We've given a time slot that as many possible can come and run between those time slots. And, with whatever precautions we have to take care of. But at least we kind of get to meet each other, see each other, and, that enjoy that feeling of being together.
Awesome. So I'll shift to Gagan now. Roshni is still. So Gagan, there's one aspect of racing that is a challenge this year is the fact that you have not been able to train, right? A large portion of the casual runners like we've not been able to really run or train much. I mean, except the last few months when we're a little bit more relaxed, but really not done much. Now,
Mhm.
you want to do something, right? If you've already run it 10 times, you want to be casual, you want to enjoy it, but you're doing it the first time, you want to do something. What are you telling those people? What should they experience now? If they're running in Delhi, what should they experience? They're not running in Delhi, what should they experience? Or what should they look to?
So people who have registered for ADHM, they should have been training ideally. So it was good time, like 1.5 to 2 months. So if you were a runner in past, it's good enough time to train for a 21K. You can build up your mileage in about 2 months. That's not a problem.
Mhm.
But for beginners, I was giving them plans, so they were doing some solo runs. All my trainees, and I have maintained their fitness level. Hats off to them, and hats off to online training sessions and solo runs. They have been able to cope up with the fitness from past 2-3 months now. So since the unlock happened, we started our outdoor runs, maybe solo, maybe once a week, a few buddy runs running together, and that just keeps them motivated. In back of my mind, there was always something that something will come up from ProCam. The number of virtual events happening. ProCam team is like super enthusiastic, super professional. So it was always in back of my mind that they will do something extra. So it will not like you upload your Garmin with your selfie and this is a virtual run. So I was thinking that something different will happen, and they have done it. And we very much keen to run that race day on our own with our hydration support, Bisleri and Partner. Everyone is there with ProCam, and all the running groups in Delhi are excited to do this different kind of event. In this year, especially, we haven't done any event, any such kind of event. We've been doing all the virtual runs, which was not so encouraging and motivating. But this one, running with the app and getting the text right and doing it for ADHM, for Delhi Airtel Delhi Half Marathon always excites me because we train on these roads throughout the year, close to Lodi Garden, entire India Gate stretch. Rajpath is like full of runners and cyclists on Sundays. That's the craze of ADHM. And we love to train on these roads. And this one day we like to burn these roads. So that's totally different experience, that you are training on same road and one day you just fire it, put it on fire and do your best on the same route. You have been knowing it. And the cheering in JLN Stadium, everything will be missed. And but people are really looking forward. We have created a buzz. We are doing our best to get community out on Saturday and Sunday to run together, obviously keeping social distancing norms and wearing masks whenever they are running together. But it will be a great event inside out, and we look forward. Whatever ProCam has done, hats off. And this was the need of the hour. Iske bina nahi ho pata. So all the things that they are doing at the back end is great. And hopefully app should work well when when 10-20,000 people are running together and
I'm sure
using
they'll
that
get it
same
right.
platform. The app should run well. Same thing Tanveer was mentioning, that it should have the capability when the app is running in the background. So your screen is off most of the time. The phone is in the pocket or in the belt or in the armband. When the phone is off, your app should still track the distance and the pace and the route. Everything should be tracked. That's one key point, very important to be figured out and to be fixed.
I think to your point, the runners, I think, should also try it out beforehand to figure out
Yes,
how it's
that
working
that
and
we
experience.
have told most of us. So this week, 2 training runs, one short interval or one small tempo, 20-30 minutes, whatever they are doing. I've told them to use their Garmin as well as the app. So training run must to.
Okay, awesome.
So
So,
they should
Tanveer,
also
coming,
know the app. Yeah,
sorry, I'm sorry, please continue.
yeah. They should
I
also
just
know the
switching
app,
to
how it is
Tanveer.
working. Sure.
Obviously, of course. You don't want to start learning that on the race day. That will be like
Yeah,
super
yeah,
difficult.
yeah. Nothing new on race day.
Right. So, you're right. So, getting to Tanveer. So, I think you were the cause of quite a few people running over quite a few days across the country.
I
So,
can vouch
I'm
for
sure
that.
you, sorry?
He
I
is
can vouch for
responsible for
that.
crazy running. Straight away for 100 days. Beginners start running for 100 days.
Right. So, I'm sure people have stayed trained because of that also.
Yeah.
So how are you advising? Like, what's your takeaway from all your years of doing ADHM? What are you missing this year, or what do you not want people to miss this year?
So for me, like, okay, before I even answer that question, just to add on, continue on what Gagan was
Sure.
saying, my advice, first of all, to participants is it is most important to practice with the app. Make sure it works for you. If there are any problems, first of all, keeping your screen unlocked by setting a longer timeout for your screen would definitely help big time. But again, it all depends. You absolutely must practice in advance before you do your race. You don't want to spoil your race by running 21 kilometers and not getting tracked correctly. Please make sure you practice in advance, and that is absolutely must. I have done it already a couple of times, given the app a good experiment with and figuring out what are the challenges. So everybody needs to do that by themselves. Okay, so with that out of the way, coming back to Chaitanya's question. So first of all, maybe I would like to talk a bit about my experience over the years with ADHM, right? Personally, for me, like Nirupma mentioned, her starter event was ADHM. Same for me. I started running in 2005, which coincided with the ADHM event also, right? That was the year in which ADHM started in its original avatar, right? The event started in 2005, and I have been lucky, fortunate, basically, to have run all the editions so far, 14 years. And it's fun to see the kind of change which has happened in the event. I mean, when I was doing that first edition in 2005, by the time we finished, we were seeing people packing off the entire area, right? Things started winding because it was obviously not the kind of volumes we see today, right? It started at a reasonably small level, and obviously it has become quite huge, fabulous event, and that change has happened over so many years. So you can see that, right? It changed different starting points when we had those challenges with the Commonwealth games happening. So a couple of years, I think, or so started from Nehru Park. And personally, in my journey, also saw multiple variations, right? All 15 years where like not everything happens in the same way, right? Year after year, you go through your ups and downs. And there were editions where I was running with peak performance as the focus, trying to do my best. And there have been years where I have not been that diligent, or due to injuries or something. Again, I would like to mention again, like, I have been lucky. I've been lucky to just even participate in ADHM all those years, because anything can sort of disrupt your entire plan. You get a severe cramp a week before the event, while training hard, your event is gone. Your event is gone. Basically, you cannot run. You cannot hobble all the way 21 kilometers, right? If you get a severe cramp a week before. So being fortunate, I think, is part of the story. And there have been years where I haven't actually trained at all. And those were years. One year which comes to my mind is when I was playing badminton, which I love playing, and I simply ran the event on the fitness base which I had built up, and Gagan can attest to that, because there are various ways to build fitness, and running is not the only way to do that. And playing badminton is, a very high intensive activity kind of thing. And I probably did one of my best performances just by doing that, which was quite surprising to me. There were years when I had fever, but somehow I just came over. There were years where I actually had some sort of injury, and I was all the way across 21 kilometers just thinking whether I will actually finish or not, because the moment the injury flares up, that is the moment you just pack your bags and go back, right? You cannot move forward. So I was just praying sort of that this does not happen. So it has been, wonderful 15 years basically. And this year, like, it's going to be totally different, running on my own, in this case, in a different city, because these days I'm out in Dehradun, enjoying my time with my family. So it's going to be a different kind of experience altogether, virtual avatar. So it's quite a journey over those 15 years, and I can see the change happening, right? The kind of interest which has built up in this event has been fabulous. We can see the numbers growing. we can see that, technology playing a major part in this edition, especially, and this is going to be the first edition with in a virtual format in India. There have been so other events, but mostly of small in nature, right? This is going to be the first big event which is going on that next virtual level platform. So that would be something really delightful to see for me personally. So yeah, I think that summarizes, the various facets of ADHM which I relate to.
Awesome. So can we get Rashmi's? So Roshni's, I'm sorry about that. Roshni, we wish you had better lighting, but we were.
Oh, 1 second. I'll just try. I was struggling with the network issue.
You're good. You just stay where you are. That's fine. So let's not change it too much.
Oh, she's gone again.
Yeah. So let's just wait. I'm sure they can edit this out.
Yeah. So what one more thing is I am missing, especially meeting all the runners, as Nirupama was saying that it was like a Diwali.
I'm in a terrace. Sorry for the lighting. Yeah, I'm in a terrace of a restaurant.
The lighting is better now. The audio is not. So let's try anyway.
Yeah.
So Roshni, let's get to your take on the whole ADHM experience. So you had great experiences with ProCam, especially with the Run with Roshni Foundation and the runners who joined from your foundation in the various runs the ProCam has organized. Tell us about everything, right? The runners, how they've experienced, how you experienced, and how you're going to miss it or not miss it, or you're going to do something to not miss it. Wherever you're running.
Obviously, I'm going to miss to run on the roads of Delhi. Right now, I'm in a small place called Padong. It's in Kalimpong district of West Bengal. Till 2017, we were a subdivision of Darjeeling, but now we are like separate district. So here, elevation is very, very high. So I always wanted to run sub 2 hours half marathon in Delhi, and which is not going to happen this year because I have to run in this elevation. And it's all because of program support. I'm being able to get the runners from this place to run in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and Kolkata. Because we don't have any event which help them to get qualified for any of the event. We don't have like proper events happening in this part of India. So we organize Kalimpong half marathon every year on 1st May, and we note down their timings, finishing timings manually. And most of the runners who are running like boys, they complete 1 hour 30 minutes half marathon in this elevation as well. And we are getting the support from ProCam that 6 certificates they accept directly from Kalimpong half marathon. So we select 3 boys and 3 girls to run in Mumbai marathon. And after that, we do selection run for ADHM, Bangalore 10K and all. So these runners are doing very good. Whenever they are going to these events, they are coming as a podium finisher. And Delhi ADHM is very close to my heart. And most importantly, I'm going to miss to run around India Gate. And every time we are getting to talk about Run with Roshni Foundation, whenever we go visit Expo. And Run with Roshni is all basically about empowering Gorkhas. Because they're physically very fit people since we grow up in hills and all. So empowering to run marathons, and my vision is to create a team of runners who will represent India in like major international events and Olympic as well someday. And another is enlightening people that how we are Indians, because I stayed in Mumbai for almost 14 years. Looking at my face, people used to assume that if I'm from China, Hong Kong, all that Southeast Asian countries. And whenever I say I'm Indian, they ask me again, what is my mother tongue? When I say Nepali, they again assume I'm migrated from Nepal. There is very less awareness that this part of Darjeeling and Kalimpong was part of Nepal and annexed to India by Britishers. And along with the land, our ancestors became part of India. And we are Gorkhas and we are very proud to be Indian. So this message, like, through marathon running, we have been able to spread, and Procam has been given us lots of media mention to talk about this project Run with Roshni. And this year, obviously, like, I'm big time is I'm missing to travel to Delhi. And yeah, but still, like, we are getting opportunity to do this big virtual event, for which I'm registered for 21 kilometers. So in my own place, I'll be doing Airtel Delhi half marathon. And this is going to be my 6th event personally. And as a team, we'll be doing fourth event. Yeah, 4th time ADHM. Yeah.
Awesome. Have a great run there.
Yeah.
So I have 2 questions for each one of you, and see if you can answer it, and see how that answer can help our runners do the ADHM. The questions are just very simple. Wherever you're running, what is your recommended route for the runners? What is the recommended route in Bangalore? What is the recommended route in Darjeeling, in Kalimpong, in Delhi? Delhi, of course, you'll get 2 answers. So let's start with Gagan.
So we have jot down a route of 5.25 kilometers, which is around Lodi Garden, that area. And we'll be doing two loops for a 10K and 4 loops for a 21K, which is our known route, number 1. And it's dark and cold in Delhi, so we'll be starting a little late, close to sunrise. Be visible, that's very important. Be safe and stay warm for at least 30 minutes when you start your run. You don't have to worry about clothing, because you can drop your clothing in your car in between the run. So we are not running on a race route, so you don't need to worry about your jackets. People generally throw their a top layer when they run an event after like 5K or 6K when they are warmed up. So that's not a problem. Hydration and nutrition support is already provided by Bisleri and Partner. So we have the stock with us, and looking forward for a great event. As usual, people are excited, and we just miss out on the Diwali of runners, meeting all the people across the globe, and runners throughout India. They come to Delhi to run this charming race, which is very close to our heart.
Okay, awesome. So, Tanvir, your route.
Your route, Tanvir, Dehradun.
Right now I'm in Dehradun, but I guess I would want to talk about Delhi because that's where the audience is. I personally, just because I started running around that place, my favorite route in Delhi is around the area around surrounding Nehru Park in Chanakyapuri, a fabulous place, nice roads, nice open roads, and basically a very clean and serene kind of place to run early mornings. So that's what I would recommend. A lot of my running has happened inside Nehru Park, which is again another side of the things, because it's a nice night trail kind of thing around the park. But again, because we'll have to do a lot of loops to manage that, so not really too advisable for folks. I can do. I can do. I like
he can do 40
so
loops.
I like running loops, so I can do it anytime. But yeah, I won't advise it to most of the runners. So, but that entire place, Chanakyapuri, and the roads over there are fantastic.
Awesome. Nirupama, what's your route?
So, so here Bangalore is an elevation. So my favorite where I train is a 3-kilometer loop. It's quite uphill, and it has rolling hills, uphill and downhill. So I'd rather choose that route for me and all my trainees. It's 3-kilometer to and fro. So we'll do it there, and we are expecting.
Where is this loop?
HSR 27th Main. And we are expecting heavy rains on Thursday, so keeping our fingers crossed.
Get your rain jackets ready.
Yeah, so that's one issue that runners will face, because we are expecting heavy showers that day.
I think Bangalore people are used to that.
But that is also a plus point. You have 5 days to run. You can go back.
Yeah, we can choose any other.
That is another plus point of having a virtual event. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. So, Tarun, what's your route? What's the recommended route you are giving to people?
So, the problem is that, we, because of all this COVID restriction, we also have, we don't want to kind of get into any kind of a trouble, or we don't want to kind of create a situation where we have issues. And our group is pretty large. So instead of really bringing them together at one point, what we've done, because we have runners coming from different part of the city, we've marked out route at 4 locations for our group people this time.
Awesome.
So we've done, because we have some runners coming from the North Delhi, so we've marked out a route at Pitampura. Then we marked out a route towards the West Delhi, which is Dwarka area. Then the 2 favorite routes that just got spoken, because we train at Lodi Garden primarily. So we marked one route at Lodi Garden and one at Nehru Park. So Nehru Park also, there's a famous loop of 5.5 kilometer. You run around Nehru Park and you take a little loop around the embassy area. That becomes about 5.5. And similarly, around Lodi also, we've done a loop of 8, because what happens is that when you're running a road race, you're running up and down, and there are kind of balance that you keep creating by default. But if you're running a loop, it is somehow not advised, because you could, get injured running over the same loop again and again, even if it is like, maybe 3-4 loops. So we've created a loop which you run, clockwise and anti-clockwise both. So within that loop. So, and similarly, we've done that on all other locations. So runners from a group will be getting together. We've kind of given leads to few people that, they'll be leading at different areas. And what we've done is that we've given an open window of like 3 hours. So people can choose their comfort time. Somebody who's still keen to start early morning with that nippy morning, you want to start at 6 or something, you could do that. And of course, the program has organized for the hydration support for us through Whistlery and Fast Enough. So we are keeping some stations for that. In fact, just before this, one of our, group mates, she called and she said, my son is very excited and he wants to be a part of this. So I asked her, what does he want to do? So she said, he wants to stand there and give you lemonade. So what we've done, we tweaked the route a little so that the route will run in front of our house now. And he'll stand there and we'll just leave some water bottles and he'll give us lemonade and, some, so we kind of discussing what to do about it. He'll leave some cut bananas and, something like that. So the whole thing about, trying to get a feel of an event at the same time, trying to keep it safe and trying to keep it, convenient to everybody. That's been the thought behind, kind of just putting this up together.
The challenges of the year, right? Like you have to think of so many things.
When you have some challenges, as Nirupama was just talking about her training before this, moment you put something in front of you, you get a sense of achievement. Otherwise, you are grasping in the blank space and, and moment you have something, then you kind of lead to it and you always come out with something more interesting.
Awesome. So, Roshni, what's your route in Kalimpong?
That route of Kalimpong half marathon is from Kalimpong town to my village in Padong. So that is the best route for 21 kilometer here.
Awesome. So it's going to be really elevated. At least there's a lot of elevation, I'm sure. So great. So guys, one last message from each one of you to the runners. I would just tell them how to enjoy this. I know a lot of people are running alone, but just inspire them to do it in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Let's start with Nirupama again. I'll just go from it.
Yeah, so I'm sure runners are going to hit the route with different goal in their mind. For some, it'll be the first time. For some, it'll be the timing. And they would still be ambitious enough to get a PB, which is fair enough. And some will have...
uphill, 14 kilometer up.
That's okay, please continue. I think she was delayed.
Yeah.
And some again, please.
Yeah. So runners for ADHM virtual run, I'm sure they'll be have different goals. Some will be newbies and they'll have their debut ADHM, though virtual. their goal will be different from someone who would have been training all this while very hard and would still be ambitious enough to expect a PB, which is also fair enough. While some would want, who have done several of those ADHM with the strict goal of getting a PB and getting into podium, would just want to run with their buddies and enjoy the ADHM where they can have conversation. So all are, they are all good with their own goals. All I would say is that keep the hydration point ready, because I would advise that anything beyond 10 kilometer requires hydration. And if you're training for PB, if you're running for PB, keep your gel and fuel and pre run done as you do during races. Don't take it easy. And in any case, just go enjoy an experience and get your app ready. As Tanveer said, be very, very cautious about it so that it gets all logged in. Enjoy, and whatever comes, whatever the result be, just rejoice it, because this you're going to treasure all your life. Because I'm sure from next year onwards, we'll have the real ADHM in Delhi. So we're going to treasure this experience.
Awesome. Tarun, to you.
So, there's no denying the fact that it will be a different ADHM. The euphoria and everything. For Delhi, but particularly this is the start of the season. So everything kind of builds up from here onward, and nothing really happens as big. I myself have every year made this out to be my PB run. When I ran my first half marathon, it was like 2:46, and bringing it down to 1:38 year after year, I've improved. So I know for a lot of us, it will not be the same PB run. But what I want to say to each one of us who's going to run this ADHM, let's run for the love of running this time. This is very important. Times have been hard, and it's an opportunity for us to come together, and it's an opportunity for us to kind of, running, I believe, is a very strong unifier. So I think it is a time to show that how running can bring us all together. So let's not have too much of a pressure, I would say, about PBs, because there could be a lot of things that may not go your way. Let's just come out and run for the love of it. This is the best time, no pressure. Just come and have fun.
Awesome. Gagan, what's your take on this?
So same as Nirupama said, that people need to focus on joy of running. And Tarun also mentioned we should come together and fight for this year together. This is a different year altogether. Many have lost their family members. Many are sick. Many are still sick in Delhi due to COVID. And many of the runners, their families have someone or other who is still COVID positive. And people have seen lots of imbalances in their life. Running actually brings the balance back. So that's the takeaway point. You need to be hooked to something which is so strong, which never sinks. That's the time we need to focus on. And nothing about PBs or anything. People who have trained hard throughout the year, they might get a good result out of it. So I'm not pushing any of the trainees to go for full throttle PB. But yes, people who were not running even a half, they have reached up to 30 kilometers now in COVID times because they have more time for themselves. They are looking on their diet, they are looking on their sleep. They are not stuck in traffic for 4 hours every day. So they have good time to sleep. That's a plus point with COVID. Everyone has magnified their fitness experience. So doing online sessions in the evening, running in the morning, they have 2 workout sessions per day punched in. And they are cooking at home. So everything has coped up with their fitness levels. People who were COVID positive, they have turned out to be a better athlete after COVID because they are recovered well. And people turned negative in just 10 days who were training with me. So it's not medically certified still, but it obviously improves your immunity if you are hooked to something which is so fitness focused and so close to your life. And you will take out time for that particular thing in which surrounds your entire life. So running is one thing you should be stoned to, and you should keep hooked yourself to running, and that will bring the best out of your life.
Awesome.
Very well said.
Yeah. Tanveer?
Okay, so I will have three short comments for people who are participating this year. Firstly, I would like to repeat on the app part. Make sure that you have at least one run or maybe two runs done with at least one of them hitting 5 kilometers, just to make sure you understand how the app is recording and it is recording as per your expectations. So that is point number one. Have the app tested in advance. No surprises last day. Second thing, again, I would like to just build on what Nirupma mentioned. Nutrition, hydration for the route. You might be doing a lot of practice around your locations, so you have some idea about how you are going to manage it. Now you are going for a much longer run for a lot of these new runners who might have done maybe 10, 12, 15, 17 kilometers. This is going to be 21. So if you are doing it on a longer route or a different route, you might be comfortable doing it on small loops in your practice. But if you are going to pick a different longer route now, you have to calculate, you have to think, you have to plan in advance and make sure you get all these aspects right, because it's important. It's very important for your race day, not only for your performance but for your overall well-being. So you need to plan for that. Make sure there are no gaps in your plans. And finally, the third thing, um, the route. You might be familiar with running. Again, it builds upon the previous one, that you are used to running some smaller routes on your day-to-day practice, 3 kilometers through, 5 kilometers through, but suddenly on the race day you want to do 21 kilometers, and you decide to do on a totally new route, 21 kilometers long. Again, you should be practicing on that route. Don't be surprised that, okay, you are stuck in traffic, or you find something totally which you are finding it difficult to manage. So make sure you are very familiar with your actual race day route. Maybe do a bike ride, do something, just to become familiar that what are you going to face on the race day. That's my final piece of advice.
Awesome.
Yeah, people
Roshni,
might
what's your...
feel that traffic is
Sorry.
on all the way. Traffic is on, and there are no traffic restrictions. Generally, on ADHM day, we have traffic restrictions. So people might feel running on the same route is totally different experience when they are running now.
Safety would be an issue, and
yeah,
you would not be able to keep your pace in every place.
Yeah.
Perfect. Roshni, your message to the runners this year, please.
I just like to say that just run to enjoy, and don't over push yourself, and do well rest before running ADHM. Do hydrate properly, and take care of your own, hydration, fueling station and all. Otherwise, while going for ADHM, everything is taken care of on the route, but this time we have to take care of it on our own. So just enjoy the run, and don't expect PB and all. So just run to enjoy. Yeah,
awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for all the messages. Actually, I wanted to give a message because what I heard from Tanveer is people might be running in unfamiliar places. Maybe they're running in familiar places, but in a race condition. If possible, carry your emergency contact on yourself, just in case. Hopefully nothing would happen, but in case something, do carry it on yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, Chavan.
I'm sure we'll hear from Shiv Kozgi about how this went, and we'll let you know. So I think Thursday is the day this is supposed to come out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. I know it was short notice.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you,
very much.
We had fun. We had fun. Bye.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.